and welcome to season 4 of Chaotic Creatives, the show about embracing the chaos that comes from living a creative life.
We are your hosts, two self-proclaimed chaotic creative gals. I'm Rachael Renee. I am an artist, a creativity coach, and your internet hype gal. And
I am Lauren Hom, better known as Hom Sweet Hom on the internet. I am a designer, lettering artist, muralist, and chef.
I was going to add one. I'm an author.
Ah!
Yeah.
I thought you were handing it off to me.
It did sound like a nice handoff, but now I get to add a fourth title.
Congratulations.
Thank you. That, I guess, is the perfect segue into what's new.
Mm-hmm.
Welcome back to season 4.
I think you need to elaborate now.
Yeah.
Since you can't just leave us hanging.
I'm writing a friggin' book about prioritizing play. And it was the news that I was like, this is really good news and I can't share it yet, that we talked about in season 3. But my book comes out in June and I'm so excited. Yay.
I'm so proud of you.
Thank you. It's been really fun. And I am learning a lot about the publishing process. And I'm just really excited to share this with folks because it's like everything that I work on in all of my different launches and offerings in one place. And then also because I was navigating my dad's death, which was also something that was like present in season 3 that I didn't really share the details of.
Yeah, because it was happening in real time.
It was happening in real time. Like I walked in to record and I was like, my dad doesn't have much time left. And you guys were like, we don't have to record. And I was like, I need a boost. So yeah, unfortunately lost my dad, but I'm glad I got to spend time with him before he died. And I talked about that, like my practices of prioritizing play really grounded me through that experience.
Mm-hmm.
And I honestly think like talking about that grieving process and navigating that hospice experience added some depth to the book and like my practices, and it just made me realize like how important it is. It's not just a frivolous like we only play when we feel good, but it's actually like a self-care practice. So
absolutely.
I also quit my job. Whoa, I have so many updates between season 3 and season 4. Going through that experience, I was just like, oh my gosh, this isn't important to me like I thought it was. And I mean, I have had my creative business on the side for many years. And like the goal was always to like get there someday to work for myself.
Expedited it though.
Yeah, it expedited it for sure. Cause I was like, it really put what mattered most into perspective. And I was like, I cannot waste time working for someone else when I so badly want this for myself. So I quit my job. And I got my face tattooed.
Sorry, Mom.
Sorry, Mom. She knew I told her it was gonna happen.
I said that kind of like sorry, moms of the universe.
Sorry, moms. This is not a lot of my tattoos are symbolic, but this one is like I will never work a non-creative job again because I have my face tattooed, and that feels fucking sick. So I have a lot of updates. What's up with you?
Well,
we're in the same city, but that's not the case.
I mean, what I love is that we can be in the same city kind of whenever we want to be now.
Yeah.
Which is
We're
very
flexible
fun.
girlies.
Yes. I really appreciate the flexibility. Well, I'm fully settled into New York
now,
which feels really nice. I gave myself the container of the summer to get settled into the new apartment. Mm-hmm. So it's really just been decorating and honestly, downsizing all of my stuff from big loft in Detroit to small apartment in Brooklyn has been a creative challenge in and of itself.
Yeah.
But it's been one that's been fun and really grounding. Again, kind of moving from the end of season 3 to this episode, having a creative practice that just kind of keeps you focused. Even for me, I love a little task.
Yeah.
Having something to just work towards and keep me grounded was really helpful. Mm-hmm. Especially because I work from home. And so it's easy to just kind of dick around all day.
Yeah.
So I've just been doing a lot of vertical storage. I built some really cool
Oh,
shelves. I
they're
think I
so
was
cool.
talking about planning these
Yeah,
when we were wrapping up last season,
you were.
but they're finally built.
And they look great.
Thank you. We'll either link to them or pull up an image.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I built my dining table. Like, bless my roommate. She's really sweet and lets me build all this furniture in our apartment. But I'm having a lot of fun, yeah, building stuff in the apartment. But
Cool.
that's really the main update. I've been doing a lot of like random public speaking lately, which has been fun for me. Like, I've kind of been in my era of like whatever freelance work comes my way, I will take. And it's kind of been like, I feel like the timelines have lined up where, like, moving back and then, like, getting back out there publicly have just kind of lined up,
Yeah.
so I'm doing creative mornings at the end of this month, which is exciting,
Fun.
especially in New York since it's, like, the place where it launched.
Yeah. Wait, that's
Um
gonna be really, really fun.
Yeah, and doing a 20-minute talk versus an hour, and
Great.
I had a call with, Tina, the founder, and she was like, our community loves just, like, creative experimentation, and if there's a new talk you've been wanting to, like, workshop, this is the place to do it, and
Cool.
so I think I'm gonna give a, like, brand new, like, experimental talk. I don't know what
Fun.
it's gonna be as of now,
Yeah.
but by the time this comes out, the talk will be out online, so hopefully I didn't biff it.
Yeah. I'm sure it's gonna be great. I feel like you put so much care into your speaking engagements. Yeah. Yeah. I'm hoping that once the book comes out, I get to do some kind of I mean, I'm really excited to do a book tour. I know we'll talk about this probably in a future episode, but I'm getting back home in Detroit after living for several months up north where I grew up and
Which is pretty rural, right?
super
Yeah.
rural. Yeah. It's been wonderful to be back and see friends and
Mhm.
get back to my ceramic studio. I really missed that practice. But I'm also kind of feeling like I'm ready for more change, even though I've experienced a lot of it. I'm like, we're on a roll, so let's keep going.
Well,
So
change begets more change a lot of
yeah,
times.
I think it was just like a catalyst for like, okay, what's next? Do you actually want to be here or do you want to experiment?
Mm.
But we'll save that for another episode when I have more decisions made. But yeah, I guess like moving to New York is kind of a segue into the topic we wanted to talk about today. So we were
Absolutely.
thinking about like analogies of, we love to compare creative practice to anything.
Of course. I mean, this is just like I know there's a lot to be said about like work-life balance and like these are just the reason we started this podcast is because we think about this stuff all the time just kind of organically and
Yeah,
a lot of stuff that happens in our personal life just kind of gets linked back to like our creative lives,
100%.
which I think is beautiful.
Yeah, I
Like,
mean, I think it's an example of like we are kind of living our passions. And I think it's been so interesting how like I never gave more to my job than I needed to. I did a good job. And
we're going to talk about this later this season.
yeah, for sure. But I also like it's interesting how grounding like thinking about my offerings as a creative coach
Yeah.
and stuff like that stuff is so fun for me that the line is blurred and there are so many parallels and especially like what I talk about in terms of like life philosophies
Yeah.
as it relates to creative practice. It's just like so interwoven with our lives that of course we're creating, analogies all the time.
Of course, I think everyone finds their like aha moments like
Mhm.
hidden in like the nooks and crannies of their lives and like
Cute.
different hobbies, different like experiences. And the one we wanted to talk about today was in the months leading up to me moving back to New York, I was downsizing. And so I spent my time selling off most of my stuff on Facebook Marketplace. And I think I've mentioned this in previous like seasons, but I come from a family where my dad was a prolific eBayer. And so it was
Like, so much so that he made a side hustle.
yeah,
Yeah.
like pays his rent with
Not just, like,
eBay.
not casual,
Yeah.
prolific.
Yeah, but an interesting, like, not enough to quit his job, never wanted to replace his full-time job with it, was realistic about, like, this is gonna be a hobby that, like, I'm gonna monetize, but, like, realistic about, like, this is as far as I'm gonna take it.
Yeah, like, it pays for itself.
Exactly. Pays for
Plus
itself and will pay for my rent, and that's gonna be it, and,
that's
like,
great.
really beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah. Be realistic about, like, what this is gonna yield and not expect more from it, and
Mhm.
maybe there's, like, a really good month or something, and cool. And as I was selling my stuff on Facebook Marketplace, I found myself kind of like getting into it, like putting up my listings, taking my photos, writing my descriptions, and then at the same time realizing those same kind of like road bumps that you hit when you're selling stuff online as like a freelancer or like maybe a product-based business. Um, where you get annoyed at like the customer or like there's like a snafu with like a pickup or something. And I realized that there were so many lessons from selling like a couch or a chair on Facebook Marketplace that were applicable to running a creative business,
Mhm.
but with the removal of like, it's not personal, it's just a rug, it's just a couch. The lessons actually, I was able to absorb those a lot easier because it wasn't like, this is my life's work. Like, how could you not appreciate it? It's just a
Yeah.
couch.
Yeah, the emotional attachment wasn't
Yes.
there. Yeah.
And I thought that was like an aha moment for me because I was like, oh, there's actually a lot to be learned when it's not personal.
Mhm.
And it was a good kind of like send off for me going to New York, where I moved back to New York to like reinvigorate like this next leg of my career because I was like, this is the time. Like I have energy, one last push for like big city,
Yeah.
while I'm still like able to like work and go out and like network and do all the things.
Mhm.
And I was like, oh yeah, like this is part of like making sales and putting yourself out there and communicating with clients and customers, and making sure that like you're running a business that works for you.
Yeah, it's really interesting because like I remember when you were doing
Yeah.
it, and it is something that I struggle with so much. Like the effort it takes to take a photo of something and list it and interact with people and have
Hmm.
them haggle and then coordinate a pickup.
Yeah.
And it's like, this is not worth the $10 to me. Where I feel like it's interesting because like you're so good at it. You're like, yeah, I at you like you said, you got into it. You were like, okay, here are my listings. Here are this. I'm doing this. You got this person picking this up. This is it's like I think even after we recorded one day, like we helped you haul something down for
Yeah.
someone
I
picking
actually
something up.
started selling stuff for you and Kristle.
Yeah, because it was so much it's like I think I do get too emotionally invested and like take it personally if someone doesn't follow through or
It is pretty annoying because it feels like
it's
a huge waste of your time.
yeah,
And you miss out on other sales if you hold something for
exactly.
someone, and you learn these things from, unfortunately, like, trial and error where you do get annoyed, and it's interesting what you said about, like, the $10 isn't worth it because 'cause you're right, the $10 is not worth it, and as I was selling stuff, I realized that there was, like, a minimum, like, price point that I was
Yeah.
willing to, like, do the coordinating pickup for, and
Yeah.
so
What was it?
it turned out to be about, like, $30, maybe even 50 depending on how
Mhm.
close to the move I was getting.
Yeah.
Um, and so anything under, like, let's say $30 $30 to $50, depending on how I was feeling about it, how, like, much space it was taking up, how heavy it was, um, I would just donate it or give it away to a friend,
Mhm.
because it wasn't gonna be worth my time to take photos of and
Right.
list and lug downstairs.
Yeah.
And then with coordinating pickups, oftentimes, this probably cut my, like, potential customer base in, like, half, if not more, but I would require, like, a $5 Venmo deposit, and a lot of people think that's a scam, but I would say, "Hey, like, here's my, like, Facebook profile, Instagram, like, I'm a real person. I have a lot of good reviews, like, on my Facebook Marketplace profile. If you don't wanna do it, totally fine, but this is what I do to protect my time, so I know you're gonna show up for the pickup."
Yeah.
And that's how I made sure I became, like, not annoyed by
Yeah.
customers. This episode is brought to you by our Patreon. Listen, we know we have one, and maybe you haven't supported us yet, and I get it. That's okay. But we would love if you did.
Yeah, we have a couple different tiers and we release early ad-free audio for each episode for the patrons, the paid patrons. And yeah, we self-produce this podcast, so help us keep making episodes of Chaotic Creatives.
To do that, head to patreon.com/chaoticcreatives.
Okay, now back to the show. I tried to sell my motorcycle
Mm,
on Facebook Marketplace last year, and I had, all of the information there
yeah.
and videos of it running. And then, some guy was like, I want to come this weekend. And I was like, sounds good. Let me know what day. and what time I'm available at this time, and then like never responded. And I think part of it, like being neurodivergent, having ADHD, I take things like very literally. I'm learning that about myself.
Mm.
Like if someone says, I want to come this weekend, that's not a, I might think about coming this weekend. It's
Yeah.
like, I am.
Yes.
And so it's hard for me to like have grace or give grace to people when they're like, I want to come this weekend. So then I'm like rearranging in my head my plans and trying to, and that guy like ghosted me. And ultimately I ended up selling it to someone that I know, which is great. But it's so frustrating for me that I cannot do it. And I feel like it's so nice that I was like, hey, can you put these on yours? And you have the good reviews and you have a system in place. And I feel like, yeah, protecting yourself, coming up with a way that you won't resent it. I mean, it's the same thing as creative practice, right? Like you have your offerings and you can't undercharge because you'll resent the customer. But you want to, yeah, you have to create the systems and structures that work for your individual like mindset.
Yeah, or like with, let's say, like a coaching call, for example, or even like client work. If someone's asking you to get on a call at 9 p.m. Eastern and you're like, that's my bedtime. But they're like, but I'm on Pacific time. If that's going to make you resent your client, you have to say no.
Right. You have to be like, these are my working hours.
Like maybe like if it's like the biggest client you've ever landed, you could make an exception. Like I certainly would.
Sure.
But as a precedent that you're going to set, like moving forward, you probably like from that experience, you would learn that like, okay, getting ahead of this for next time, I'm going to tell my clients that like, here are my working hours. This is when I respond to emails, just to like set that precedent. On Facebook Marketplace, I like learned from a lot of other people's listings too. And like, I know how my dad writes his listings.
Yeah.
Like, it's actually really interesting. Like, some people put no information and I'm like, oh, they're going to have it rough. And it's easy when I understand why people complain about like, oh, it's so hard to sell stuff on Facebook Marketplace. I obviously have my system. Some people will put in their like listing, price is firm or like price is flexible, send me your best offer, depending on if they're open to negotiation. Some people will say like, message me with the like date and time that you can come pick it up. And like, those are the only messages I'm going to respond to. Don't ask me, is this available? Don't ask me like to negotiate the price. Like you're allowed as the person selling to give your buyer instructions. It's almost like a little like test. Like, did you read the listing?
Totally. And it's interesting. I saw there's a gal that I follow on Instagram that I don't know personally, but she and her partner were moving recently and had tried to buy something on Facebook Marketplace, went and rented a U-Haul to go pick it up, showed up, and the guy was like, oh, I sold it already. And so they were like, any sort of courtesy to like let us know. Like we went and paid for this truck rental. And so it's like, it's such a weird, like, wild, wild west sort of
the Wild
because
West.
there are no parameters. It's just like whatever you're comfortable with as a human. And that varies so much. Yeah.
I think that's why Facebook Marketplace is an interesting, like, it's fascinating to me. It's almost like marketplace anarchy.
Yeah.
Like, it's just like, hey, like, you're really just like, it's the most like pure form of hawking your wares.
Totally. And I also feel like it's such an interesting practice in like trusting people.
Yeah, because we have these like profiles, right? People can still make fake profiles, but it's a weird form of community because these are people who are local, but usually you don't have any social ties to these people.
Yeah.
And people can do that. Like what you described is like, oh, sorry, someone else came to pick it up first and you didn't communicate that.
Yeah.
And so in that case, like when I'm on the buyer end of that situation, I usually will like put down a deposit or something where like it would make hopefully the person feel worse if they sold
If
it
they
to someone
did it.
else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because then there's some like weird, like biological, like or social like reciprocity where it's like,
yeah,
but it's not like a guarantee to protect
totally
against that. Like I even think about that with like as a freelancer charging a deposit, like that's something I'm used to. And so I understood that like for more expensive items, I was selling items. The most expensive thing I think I sold on Marketplace was like $800 for like a set of like really nice chairs from like Crate and Barrel.
Yeah.
And it was really fascinating because the woman who ended up buying those paid me in full, like, upfront,
Yeah.
before she even showed up, and I was like, "Hmm, fascinating."
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's interesting how like the different tiers, like the more expensive the item, it's almost like the more serious,
Yeah.
which can be related back to
That
like,
happens with client work a lot. Mhm.
yeah, and like even coaching calls where like, I offer 15-minute free exploratory calls because I want it to be a good fit for both of
Of
us,
course.
right? Like if I can't help you, I don't want you to pay me
Mhm.
to be disappointed. And then also like if you think I can help you, but I actually don't think I can, like it has to be a good fit on both sides for it to be a successful experience. But I've had a few people sign up for the exploratory calls and not show up. So I
Ooh,
only
'cause there's nothing to lose.
right. It's a 15-minute call. I will stay on for 10 minutes. That's my rule. Because I can do other work while I'm
Mm,
waiting.
mhm.
And 10 minutes feels okay.
Yeah.
Um, and of the people who haven't showed up, no one has ever said like, "Hey, sorry." So,
Wow.
I also don't do follow-up because I'm like,
Yep.
you knew how to schedule this
Mhm.
and you did it and you did not value that time or my time. So I actually don't want to like hunt you down to see if you'll pay for one.
I like that system that you have set up.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's, like, generous, but you're not gonna go, like, above and beyond.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. Cause I'm like, I only want to do it for people who really want to. And so yeah, if it's like, if you missed it because something happened and you email me,
Yep.
great, I'll schedule it again.
Mhm.
That's okay. But if I don't hear from you at all, it's a no-show. That's disrespectful of my time. And like it's only 10 minutes, so I don't feel resentful. But it's just interesting how like when it's free, people are like, I
Mhm.
need this now. I'm gonna come get it
Mhm.
with the Facebook Marketplace
Oh
stuff.
my gosh, yeah.
And then they don't. But if it's an $800 thing, so people are like, oh no, I want this. I'm committed. I'm taking this seriously. It's like it's accountability. Like the financial investment is holding us accountable.
Yeah, it's really true. One of the worst, like, Facebook Marketplace experiences I had for this move was and this is my fault,
Okay.
you know me, Lauren Hom method, crunch time. This is the day before I'm moving. I really should have just borrowed your air mattress and, like, slept on it properly, but,
Mm.
like, ahead of time.
Yeah.
I had borrowed your air mattress, I think, but I sold my bed that I was sleeping on, like, the day of my move
Yeah.
with the bed frame
I
and
think we
everything.
we all helped you move it. Yeah.
Yeah. And because of that, like, I sold it for super cheap.
Yeah.
The frame and the mattresses were free, and the reason it was day of, it was supposed to be the day before, is because the person who said they were gonna come get it didn't come get it.
Mm.
And I broke my rule. I said, "I normally want a deposit," and they said that, like, "I don't feel comfortable doing that," but I was trying to move it so fast that I was like, "That's fine," and then they didn't show up, and they, like, left the chat, and I couldn't contact them, and I was like, "Motherfucker." So
Yeah.
I had to, like, very quickly try to find someone else to buy it, otherwise, like, I would have to, like, contact the city to, like, dispose of, like, a large object, and it was just this whole
Oh,
mess.
wow.
Because a mattress is, like, not something that's easy to just dump, like, curb,
Totally.
at least I think. In New York, you get fined.
We can throw anything away in
Good to
here.
know in
Yeah.
hindsight.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, cool.
Truly, there's no, because some have like bulk days where you but
I
my
see.
my city doesn't.
I think being in, like, a condo, I wasn't sure.
Yeah.
But anyways,
I feel like that is something that like I'm normally such a rule follower, but if I were leaving,
mm,
I would put a mattress by the dumpster at the condo and
with, like,
just
a little Post-it that says, "Sorry."
yeah. Sorry.
But yeah, like, I think this is, like, a perfect, analogy for what happens a lot with freelancing where
Yeah.
when your hand is forced, like, let's say you are in a pinch or, like, you, like, really need money, and you compromise on your system, your
Mhm.
rules, like the kind of like structure that you set up for yourself, oftentimes that's when you get taken advantage of.
Yep.
And when you start to resent uh, being that service provider or like doing the thing that you're doing. And I
Mhm.
was so pissed. I was
Mhm.
like, ugh, like it made the move so much more stressful. But luckily, I found someone to pick it up, and thank you to you guys for helping
Oh, yeah. No problem.
carry the mattress down and everything. But it was like day of.
Yeah.
Like, U-Haul ready to go. Like, let's sell this. Like, hopefully this next person comes and picks up
Literally,
this bedframe.
I mean, you were putting stuff in the U-Haul and it was like
Yeah.
the last possible minute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I feel like this Facebook analogy is making me think of selling clothes because I don't do marketplace stuff much.
But you do like closet sales.
Yeah. And like I used to do them on Instagram because like as someone who, you know, I care a lot about my style and I have, you've seen my closets, like I have 2 closets that are like as wide as these shelves and I live alone. So I'm like, I got the space and I love to thrift. I love to go vintage shopping, slow fashion, all this stuff. And also I'm like, okay, once something has like, I've cycled out of using it, a lot of the pieces I buy are high quality, so they have lots of life left to give. Especially when you're investing in like a slow fashion piece or like a really high quality vintage piece. You know, it's that you invest in nice things so that you can recoup funds or they last forever, right? Like there's a reason that we like pay more for higher quality things. And so in my head, I'm like, okay, well, I can always sell this if I move on from this piece. But I used to do Instagram story sales and I get overwhelmed easily. And it is extremely overwhelming for me to have to do like the back and forth, the like, let me take that weird measurement for you kind of thing. Cause like how I would shop a closet sale is I would see what information is available that the person shared. And if that is enough information to be like, I think this will work, I'll take the risk. If it's not, I'm not asking additional questions.
Yeah. But how you would shop isn't always how someone else would shop.
It's really not. Yeah. So people are like, how does this fit like this? And I'm like, I don't know. Like, this is how it fit me. Here's the measurements. And so it was always really overwhelming to me. And then like keeping track of like who had first dibs? How do I want to do this? I don't want to overwhelm the people that don't want to shop my closet. So I started doing just selling to vintage shops or consignment stores locally. Instead, I'm making significantly less money, but it takes away the stress. And so I'm willing to sacrifice that cost for the stress. And then also one of the brands that I work with, the Choose app, they do a lot of like slow fashion, vintage stuff on their app. And they've offered for me to do closet sales through there, which is amazing because then the platform is through there. Their customer service team handles everything. The orders just come into me as if it were, you know, a classic product based business.
You fulfill.
And I fulfill it. And
Amazing.
that's it. Like I don't have to field any questions about stuff. It's just like, this is the available information. And I, of course, try to, like you, offer as much as I can. Like, here's the materials. Here's any tiny, you know, holes or imperfections. Here's a picture of the tag. Here's the measurements. Like, I try to do all of that. And so I'm really grateful for them for offering that as a platform. And, you know, they take a cut. But again, it's worth it for me to not have to deal with the customer facing side of things. Because that always really stressed me out.
100%. And I think that that's like a helpful like analogy for like in your creative business, knowing the things that are like, I absolutely cannot be fucked to do this. Like this makes me like so upset. Like this is again causing resentment. And listen, there are some things that like we got to like put on our big girl pants and just do
like
sometimes.
our taxes. We just got to do it.
There are some things that are unavoidable that you figure out a way to just do it. Like whether it's, you know, the story that I've shared before of like my friend Andy who
the bathtub
takes a bubble bath and answers emails because like he like, you know, tricks himself. It's like tricking a kid into like eating vegetables by like hiding it in something else or like putting your dog's medicine in like a ball of cheese. Like whatever you got to do to like get the medicine down. But when you know that there are certain things that like your brain or your personality type just like you don't want to do, if there are ways you can figure out to like either outsource those things or get help, or like you said, maybe make a little bit less money, but have someone else handle those things. That might be an agent, that might be an assistant, that might be like investing in some kind of like software or program that does that for you.
Totally. Yeah, I mean, I think it's all just like if we treat those things as like the cost of doing business
Yes.
and having a fulfilling life, um, it's just like these are tools that we're using to help
Yeah, and
us.
we all have different strengths too. Like,
Yeah.
I always chuckled because you and I have such different strengths,
Mhm.
and I always like the other day when I was here, last time when I was here actually, and you printed a shipping label for me, and I was just like, "Wow, this is like magic." And you were like, "I have all the things to print the labels and the mailers and all these things."
Yeah.
I, for the life of me, like, cannot be bothered to ship things, go to the post office, even, like, schedule pickups, and that's for that reason, I've never sold physical products.
Totally.
It's like my Achilles heel, like, I like physical products, I just will not fulfill the orders, that's the thing,
Yeah.
like, I can do the product descriptions, I can do the product images, I just won't send the products out.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
And I feel like this is one of the reasons I think that we make such a complementary team because like our skills do complement like
Yeah.
yeah, I don't want to do the product photos and the description. Like but
Yeah.
fulfilling it, no problem for me. This episode is brought to you by us asking you to hire us to teach a workshop or do a speaking engagement.
You've heard us talk about this season teaching workshops together for brands and on our own, and we are actively looking to do more of that this year.
Yeah, so if you do programming for your corporate job or you work for an organization that does programming, we would love for you to reach out to us and get something scheduled. We're happy to travel. We really love doing this work together and are excited to hear your idea.
You can reach out to us at chaoticcreativespodcast@gmail.com.
Okay, now back to the show. We hosted a workshop recently, and we split up the tasks, and it was like Lauren handled all the contract stuff. I did like we did ideation together, and I brainstormed and like filled out some of the forms. Like it's interesting because you're like corporate deadlines don't matter, and I'm like. It was a really interesting practice for me to be like, oh my God, we said we would get them information at 5 p.m. and I'm sitting by my phone waiting for Lauren to get me stuff. And you always did it, but not always on time. And it was a good practice to be like, this is not as urgent as I think it is.
I'm sorry, I should have communicated to you because I forgot that this was one of your first bigger corporate gigs, like workshop brand deals, and I was treating it pretty flippantly.
Yeah. And like I've worked with corporate clients before, but like as like an influencer, not as like a speaker. And so
I mean, to me, this agency is like an influence. I was treating it like an influencer project.
Yeah. Which I mean, I very much respect the deadlines that are given to me.
Which, listen, that's the way. It's better to err on that side for sure.
Yeah,
for sure.
Ultimately, we had a great experience.
Yeah,
and it was just like, yeah, our strengths are different.
And also, I mean, this is honestly just. So I always liken this to, like when all of us first got an iPhone and we were like cradling this like supercomputer in our pockets.
Yeah.
And, like, this device is
Precious.
going to change my life. And
Yeah.
then within like 2 weeks, you're just like tossing it on your bed from across the room.
Yeah.
Like screens shattered. There is a familiarity that comes with like being around something for a while. I absolutely calibrate like to like a agency's like communication style, and like I know that like to me a Friday EOD deadline is a Monday first thing deadline.
Mm-hmm. And I'm like, a Friday EOD deadline is a Friday morning so that I'm done and it's off my plate for the entire rest of the
Which
weekend.
Is so good of you. Yeah.
It's fascinating. But I was thinking in terms of like the strengths too, like I think that it's a really good thing to be self-aware about. Like I'm hiring one of my friends right now to do coaching sessions with me because I have a hard time I get really excited about something, like the chaotic creative in me gets like hyper fixated. I have an idea and I'm good at building it, and I definitely have a little bit of like flakiness when it comes to my own personal projects. Like, oh, I'm going to start this and then I'll finish it in 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
But with my business, I do commit to them and I have offerings and
Mhm.
I'm stoked about it. But as soon as I come up with the idea and I have the framework done, I want to talk about it and launch it immediately. But there has to be so much more buildup. And I'm really bad at like the longer term, like month-long launches. So I am thinking about this. I'm a community just started. So this episode releases in January.
Mhm.
I am opening up and have opened, hopefully, by the time this episode airs, a digital community space
Mhm.
called The Juice Box,
Cute.
where it's a place where people can hold each other accountable for prioritizing their
Mhm.
play, mostly because I want to do that. And we'll talk about kind of my
Yep.
creative goals in another episode. But I want to talk about it and like open it up immediately, but I know that like me as a buyer, I want all the information outlined. I want to understand what this framework looks like. I need time to like warm up to it,
Mhm.
but because I as the offerer am thinking about it all the time, I'm like everyone's going to be as excited about it as me.
Mm.
So I'm working with my friend who's one of her strengths is like planning and creating
Mhm.
like a launch strategy. And I'm just so grateful for the creative community. You offer me such good feedback and like talking to people who have different strengths, I think is so helpful and why creative community really matters.
Yeah.
But all of this is to say, I will never be selling things on Facebook Marketplace because that is not one of my strengths. To circle back to that conversation.
Yeah, like, you gotta, like, be self-aware enough to know, like, these tasks I absolutely abhor,
Mhm.
these tasks I absolutely, like, love, these ones I don't mind, and then
Mhm.
kind of, like, piece together, like,
Yeah.
business that works for you and that, like, mostly brings you joy.
Yeah.
Because like, way you build, like, a sustainable creative business for you is that day in, day out, like, you're mostly doing things you enjoy.
Mhm.
Like, there's
Like
gonna be some slog, of course, like,
totally.
gonna be some admin, that's just part of it, like,
Yep.
we're adults. Hi, Miss
Oh, yeah,
Kitty.
the kitties might join
Oh.
us.
But, yeah, like, I think that doing and doing things, like, trying things, like, you might see someone else selling, like, merch or doing things in their business, doing course launches or, teaching workshops, and it's good to try that out. Like, it's always good to get your own take on, like,
Yeah.
how did that feel?
Mhm.
And if you didn't like it, then that's just information.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
Yeah. I think, like, being reflective about, like, making time in your schedule to be reflective after a freelancer project or
Yeah.
after a course launch or something, like, what did I enjoy about this thing and what did I not like? Should I do this again? I feel like that goes back to things we've talked about in previous seasons where it's like, I don't want to do things the way that this other person who I thought we had very similar creative paths
Yes.
is doing it because that doesn't work for me. So,
Yeah, exactly. And,
yeah.
like, yeah, like, with Marketplace, like with a closet sale, right?
Mhm.
You gotta test it out and think like, "Oh, that didn't quite feel worth it," but, like, what would make it feel worth it? Like, maybe I have to raise my prices. Maybe I need to, be a little bit more selective with who I work with. Maybe I need to decrease, like, the amount of stuff that I'm selling. Maybe I need to shorten the sales window.
Mhm.
Like, ooh, this part made me feel, like, really excited and alive. This part really drained me.
Mhm.
Um, and then yeah, I think that selling stuff on Facebook Marketplace is interesting too because even though it's less personal than, like, selling your artwork or your creative services,
Mhm.
there were certain pieces where I felt more of an attachment to. So, for example, for
Yeah.
any, longtime listeners, in season 2, we sat on my workbench,
Yes. Yes.
which, very cute, less comfortable.
Mhm.
Thank you for speaking up and saying, "Hey, can we move back to the chairs?"
Yeah. Hey, we did it.
Yeah. But that workbench had been in my studio for years and I felt very attached to it.
Yeah.
I actually bought that workbench on Facebook Marketplace from like a grandpa who had built it himself,
Mhm.
made out of a door, which is where I got the idea to build my current dining table in Brooklyn out of a door.
Cool.
So inspiration.
Yeah.
And when I listed that on Facebook Marketplace, I was, like, having, like, some feelings about, like,
Mhm.
I want this to go to someone who, like, is also gonna use it, like, well,
And
and,
it
like
went to a glass artist, right?
yeah, so this guy ended up buying the workbench for his wife, they put it in like their garage, and it was because she had, I think, recently retired, and she was getting back into her stained glass practice, and he sent me
Cool.
a photo of her
Yeah,
working
you
at it
showed it to me,
afterwards.
and I showed it to my friend Katie who does glass, and it was just like it was very sweet. And that's
Yeah.
exactly who you wanted to go to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, like, I think maybe the, like, tie back to, like, freelance work or creative services is, being discerning about, like, who you work with. For some people in their business, that matters more than others.
Mhm.
But, like, yeah, you can absolutely take your time, like, picking your clients and, like,
Yeah.
your creative gifts, and, like, some of your skills might be more precious to you than others. Like, you don't have to use your skills, like, just for whoever's gonna give you money for them.
Totally. And I think there's different capacities, right? Like I'm going to be more particular about a one-on-one client who I'm interfacing with directly than someone who buys my book.
Yes. Yep.
Like cuz that's like kind of like I did the work and you have your own experience and relationship with it as the customer or the
Yeah.
reader. But a book is cheaper than a coaching session.
Mhm.
So yeah, it's kind of like you can do things in different capacities in terms of like what you want your experience to be.
Yeah, like, what are my precious things? What are my, like, things that, like, oh, this was just like a a side table that, like, from Wayfair or something that,
Yeah.
like, I've had for, like, 10 years
Yeah.
that was from college or something, and
Mhm.
I don't care what happens to it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting how the emotional attachment comes in because it was like that with clothes too. Like certain things, I bought this dress for this particular party and I wore it at this time and I feel so much more emotional. And like, even though it's probably not worth it, I want to charge more or I'm like less willing to budge on the price.
Mhm.
And then there's other dresses where I'm like, I don't care about this. I thrifted it and just want to get it into another home, like extend its life cycle, but like get it out of my closet.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, and we're allowed to have those like having different emotional reactions about our offerings or the things we're selling. Like that's okay and normal. Just honoring that and not doing something where we're going to resent the experience.
Yeah, I also
Yeah.
thought that from a, like, negotiation standpoint, like, buying and selling stuff on Marketplace or even just, like, at a flea market, just it doesn't have to be online necessarily.
Sure.
Um, it's helpful when it's removed from your creative work to
Yeah.
remember that, like, I know so many creative people, like, they get a pit in their stomach when they think about having to, like, negotiate pricing for their work,
Hmm.
whether it's them putting out a number first or someone else coming at them with a number, because it seems like an impossible, like, target. Like, it's like getting a bullseye, right? Like, one number is gonna feel offensive, one number is gonna feel too high, like, and when you start negotiating on Facebook Marketplace for, like, a chair or a rug, it's not that personal, and everyone's like, when you're the buyer, you're trying to get a deal. This is the same thing with, like, Poshmark, Depop. Like,
Hmm.
when I'm the buyer, my strategy is usually, because I also sell stuff, I'm not gonna do, like, an offensively low number. I usually go in, like, 30% lower than what someone is asking for. That feels, like, good to
Hmm.
me, unless they offer me a lower price.
Sure.
And that's always kind of worked out for me. Unless I, like, really want it, then sure.
Yeah.
Um, but then, yeah, people like, haggling is normal, and we were just talking about this earlier, but in other cultures, like, haggling is not seen as, like, a slight towards someone else.
Totally.
And I think that a lot of, especially here in the West, like, our discomfort with pricing our work and negotiation just comes from not being familiar with it.
Yeah.
And if you get more comfortable negotiating, whether it's eBay, Poshmark, Facebook Marketplace, it'll actually make you better at your creative business negotiation because
Hmm.
you're just more practiced in
Right. It
negotiating
doesn't feel
prices.
as uncomfortable. Yeah.
Yes, it's more familiar.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Amazing. Well, I think we're close to time.
Wow.
So let's wrap up this episode. I feel like,
Thanks for being the cat wrangler.
oh, yeah. Yeah, the cats, obviously, we're in a new space.
Yeah.
If you watched our crash course, you saw that we were in my office, but we are recording season 4 in the office, which is fun
Whee!
for me because I have lots of collections and
So
lots of
many
things to
things.
look at.
Yeah, you'll notice that this season the gals are a little more organized and we're planning out. the episodes?
Let's hope so.
Yeah.
I mean, but maybe we did such a good job in all the other seasons that they would never notice that this one's more organized.
Ooh.
But we still have Patreon, and we're so grateful for our patrons who support us in producing this podcast. And if you feel so inclined to support us in that way, we would love for you to check out the Patreon. We offer
ad-free episodes.
Yep. Early release ad-free audio of each episode. So you get to listen to it the Friday before it comes out on Monday. And we'd love your support over there. Give us a rating on the podcast episode wherever you watch or listen.
Share this episode with a friend who could use the lessons,
who
sells stuff on Facebook Marketplace, who needs to declutter their home, perhaps.
Yeah. Who wants to make a move to Brooklyn. Wow. I'm so thrilled to be back.
I know.
Yay.
We always talk about whenever we get back into it, like, even though it's a lot of like work to record for like a whole day, it always feels so exciting and energizing, like once we get back in and like gab for the day.
Yeah. I feel so boosted always. Like even when I'm in a low energy state, I'm like, this is fun.
It like really, I feel like uncorks the like well of ideas.
Yeah, bouncing it off of each other. Hopefully it's also uncorking the well of ideas in you.
That's the episode title.
We're helping you uncork. We'll see you in the next episode.
Bye.